So today we are on Venom issue number 250. As you can see, it's No and the all new Venom, which is Mary Jane. I was really excited about this issue because it is the return of No, and No gave Eddie Brock Venom and the whole Marvel Universe a run for their money. So I was really excited to see how Noel and the new Venom host of Mary Jane was going to go about things. So here we have some kind of alien. He's going around, I guess, warning people that, stuff's going on. Mary Jane's running around as Venom. I mean, it's just a lot of nothing really important moving on. Mary Jane wants to start modeling again. This alien is in this issue way too much for the little bit of story that he actually provides to it. I mean, most of this is very unimportant story, other than, he fights off a bunch of symbiote covered, what's their names, Shatari. I mean, it's all just about him trying to get to Earth. Uh, Mary Jane's trying to get her modeling career going again. Her and Paul are taking care of Dylan, which is Eddie Brock's son. Dylan's being a spoiled brat. Lottie Lottie. Mary Jane gets targeted. Here we are with this pointless alien again. I mean, this alien, it takes up more of this comic book than the whole Venom does in this issue. And this was an oversized, like $6 or $7.99 book. And you're paying to see this pointless alien that his whole story could have been summed up in 2 or 3 pages. And instead he's got more than half the book devoted to him. So Mary Jane's supposed to meet with a new modeling agent, and just 5 minutes from the meeting, she gets shot at. So she changes to Venom to pursue the attacker. Find out it's Madame Mesquite. They have a brief little fight. Madame Mesquite throws a grenade down towards the crowd. Here we are yet again with this alien having a fight with symbiotes. I'll touch on this at the end, but this is just me going through the comic after I've read it, and I'm still aggravated by seeing this. I mean, this is just pointlessly drawn out. I mean, just, ugh. I mean, you went through, literally, we just flipped through 6 or 7 pages just to show him going back on his way to Earth again. And we only got a page and a half of Venom actually fighting Madame Mesquite, but we had 6 or 7 pages of this alien that nobody gives a crap about fighting symbiotes in space. So anyway, Mary Jane goes down, grabs the grenade from the school bus, finds out it was just a dud anyway. It was just a distraction. She shoots the symbiote with some kind of thing that repels the symbiote, and here we are again with this alien guy. I mean, we had 1 or 2 pages of actual Mary Jane alien, Venom, and here we are in our second or third page of the alien. So it's like he's getting equal or more pages for a book that's not even centered around him. You know, they're still attempting to have a fight in the middle of the reader being, diverted by this other crap. Venom gets the upper hand. Here we go again with every time the story starts getting a little interesting for Venom, they jump in with this born alien stuff that takes you out of the story. The symbiote that was attacking him for 450 pages gets burns up. And of course, it comes in, it wasn't good enough that it had to interfere and, it had to take away from the fight multiple times, but now it is literally going to come in and stop the fight. So Madame Askew gets away. Venom goes to see what's going on with it. And it ends with Noel's in a prison. So Noel is still alive, but he's in a kind of alive. And you find out that his jailer is none other than Hela of Asgard. And the story's to be continued in Noel #1. So let's reflect over what we just seen here, because this one really, 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 really pissed me off. And honestly, I was so frustrated with the main story. I didn't even read this backup story because it looks like it's nothing but more boring crap that happened during maybe the separation anxiety. I mean, you can see it kind of ends in the middle of what should be what people would be wanting to read. When the action starts is when it ends. I mean, I don't know. I think Al Ewing is writing this, and he's had some good stories on stuff, and he had a good run on Venom, kinda, with the Eddie Brock Venom, and then with the King in Black. He had highs and lows. He had stuff he done I thought was good, and he had a bunch of stuff he done that I thought was stupid. And it's a shame because I've read a couple of issues of All New Venom, like right when they revealed it was Mary Jane, probably around issue 6, 7, something like that. And I enjoyed them too. And then I jump on this one because I see Noel and Venom fighting on the front, and Marvel advertised it as like it's their big rematch. And Venom has no interaction with Noel at all. Venom takes the back seat to the whole story. This alien that at the end of the book doesn't even have a meaning at all took nearly the entire book. The book was like a $7.99 book. I mean, you got your readers hyped up, and once they got in there, nothing even happened. So it was a very, very, very disappointing book. And this issue alone took me from, this was one of my highly anticipated books I had waited on. And it went from being something that I looked really forward to. I was starting to get behind the Mary Jane Venom storyline to once I read this, I've got no interest in it anymore. None. The story was so terrible, it destroyed me on it. I can't do it. I don't know how it is for people who were brought up this younger generation, maybe y'all can appreciate this more, but I come up in the generation where Venom was introduced at first, and Venom was Eddie Brock Venom was way, way more intense, was a way cooler character. They had so many things going for Venom back then, and then you get a hold of what we got now. It's I won't even say it's a good idea to have Mary Jane as Venom, but it worked for a little bit. But then when you start doing the bait and switch and you're advertising these big giant moments that don't happen, people like me, we don't care about it anymore. And honestly, anybody else being Venom except Eddie Brock is a hard sell for me, and I'm assuming for anybody who had read Venom back in my generation, because Eddie Brock and Venom, when they first come along, they were the biggest thing to hit Spider-Man. There was nothing like Venom before. And the way he would torture Peter, the way he was one of the only ones that knew Peter's secrets, he would show up at Aunt May's house, threaten Peter in front of Aunt May. You know, I mean, he was definitely the most, I mean, conniving villain next to Green Goblin. So to see what they've done with it now, I mean, Al Ewing, to be honest, he had a good run with Venom leading into King in Black. But once he decided to separate Venom from Eddie Brock, like the run he had with Dylan being Venom, that was boring. He had this run where Mary Jane was Venom, that had potential, but even that, it looks like he's ruining that. Marvel's got a bad thing about keeping writers on these books too long. Al Ewing, once King in Black was over, Al Ewing should have moved on to something else. He was smart enough to move from Thor. I think he was. Hell, no, I think he's still doing Thor too. Is it Al Ewing doing Thor right now? I'm not sure. Doing the Mortal Thor or whatever. The Immortal Thor was pretty good. Then they started this Mortal Thor. I have not read that yet, but I will be doing that in the next day or two. Uh, he done his run on the Immortal Hulk and left. The Immortal Hulk was okay. He likes to go in and do major drastic changes to these characters. And some of it works and some of it doesn't. But this doesn't feel like it works. So I felt like this was a big disappointment of an issue. But all that done, the art was still pretty decent in it. I give the art probably a 6. The story, the story, I give a 3, and that's being very generous to it because the story wasn't even Venom centered anyway, to be honest. So I give the story a 3 overall. The book in general, the art saves it a little. I mean, it gets a 3.5. 3.5, and that's being very generous on it. That's the art carrying the book. And the art's not even the greatest. But the art's good enough that it trumps the story by far in this issue. It's all, you can't advertise something and then have no delivery on it. So that's my breakdown of Venom 250. I'm very curious if you agree with it. If you differ with it, let me know in the comments. if you enjoyed it, there's nothing wrong with that. To each their own. But for me, this was another one that wasn't for me. And I'm running into a lot of that with current Marvel stuff. But we'll run into that as we go. So that's my review. So look for the next one.